Well, yeah, spilling beans. It's a lovely morning here in South Florida. Here in my Airbnb in the beautiful Fort Lauderdale Beach. Airbnb. Drinking my coffee out of a glass because I didn't have any coffee cups. Chilling in my pool. It's kind of more like a bath than a pool, but I enjoy it. I wear these underwear because I don't really like walking around naked. Just really been learning new lessons in life about how hard it is to rise once you're falling. Credit rating bullshit. It's a way to keep the poor poor. We're gonna disguise it in this number that is figured out in an algorithm that none of us can really exactly put our finger onto. That is going to determine how much we pay for things. So therefore, the hidden thing there is that it's a way of charging the poor people more money for everything and the rich people less money for everything, which I think, with all I learned about America, we talk about the American dream, it's really unconstitutional. That's so fucked up, man. Like, oh, okay, there's a poor tax. You're poor, you gotta pay more. I make light of it, but I've been going through a rough time lately. Lost my apartment, lost my car. Not because I didn't pay, kids. Not because I didn't pay. The car they took away due to insurance. My insurance company dropped me. You get into a few accidents, I totaled a Lincoln, I totaled a Cadillac, I banged up another Cadillac, and hit a $300,000 sports car, and also a city bus. And then I banged up a rental car, and also one theft on the second Cadillac I bought. They said, no more, Paulie. You cannot have insurance anymore. No company will insure me. I cannot drive. Tried to drive a moped. It got stolen at the Link Hotel. Also, I lost my apartment because of the behavior of a young man. I paid for that too, man. In my world, you pay for things, you get to keep them. But that's not true. Paid for all this. Paid for the car, paid for the insurance, paid for the apartment. All on time. For once, I have 690 credit rating. Now I got a 300 something. Ridiculous because they were taking the car, they're taking the apartment, they're taking everything anyway. So I was like, fuck you, I'm not paying. I'm not paying $750 car payment. But take my car away anyway, pull my registration. So it's all done. And I still have myself, at least I have my pride. I did what I thought was right. They told me, Austin has to go. I said, Austin got nowhere to go, so Austin's gonna stay. Evicted me in the end. Now I cannot find a place, so I've been staying at Airbnbs, costing me $3,500 a month. But hey, at least I got a private swimming pool right now. It changes every 1-2 weeks. I get a new place. Let me tell you something about this bullshit that we call credit rating. It's a way in disguise, an algorithm no one can figure out how to figure out. And they really confuse the hell out of us to disguise the fact that they are charging the poor people a hell of a lot more than they are for the rich people for the same thing. That's unconstitutional to me. I want to change that in the world. I want to change the fact that I got evicted because of a disabled, behaviorally challenged person's behavior. Like in the lawsuit, it says, oh, Paul let him paint the driveway. Paul let him do this. There's no letting him do anything. I didn't let him do anything. He didn't fucking listen to a word I said. But he's still a person. He still needs a place to live. He had nowhere to go. The state said he had to stay in the state. He had no one else but me to take care of him. I did what I had to do. I took care of him. And in the end, I was kicked out and lost everything. But I could sleep at night. What I couldn't sleep at night doing is knowing that I kicked him out. Leaving him on the streets wouldn't have done me any good, any justice in the world. I wouldn't have been able to sleep at night. I wouldn't be able to look at myself in the mirror. So I let him stay. He had to stay. I love him anyway. Wish he would have behaved himself. But also he has a problem with that. And I don't think I should have been allowed to be evicted over it. I dragged it out in court for 5 months. But in the end I was. And now, even though I'm offering $7,000 for a deposit, 4 months rent, no one will fucking rent me an apartment because I was recently evicted. I'm staying here at Airbnbs. It costs a fortune. About $3,500 a month I've been spending over 2 months now just to fucking have a place to stay. It's ridiculous. I don't have a car anymore. My insurance company dropped me. Too many accidents. 2 Cadillacs, a Lincoln, a Mercedes. I hit a city bus. I hit a $300,000 sports car. Banged up a rental car, and they said no more insurance. No company will touch me. No one will insure me. My family wouldn't put me on their insurance, so I was shit out of luck. And I got a moped, and it got stolen, and now I got a bicycle. They're really trying to stop me, but you know what? I'm gonna keep myself, I'm gonna keep my energy. I'm gonna look towards the light. Know that what I did was right. I did the right thing, regardless of losing everything. I kept my conscience clean. I'm one with God. I believe in God. I believe in angels. I have one because I haven't been on the street so far, and I've been able to survive by the grace of God. Very grateful. We learn our lessons in life one by one, and now I'm learning my lesson on how hard it is to rise after you fall. There's no mercy in this world. Like, it was really all up to me to save the day, save the life. He's in jail now. He'll be back. I don't believe he should be in jail. I believe he was just being obnoxious. He wasn't making a fortune. He wasn't having fun with what he was doing. He was really just trying to get on my nerves and be a brat. And in the end, he's facing all these criminal charges. They want $80,000 bail on a fucking kid that has never had a goddamn thing in his life. They want $13,000 up front, an extra $5,000 because he's flight risk. And I would do anything to get him out. He doesn't belong in there, but I can't. I don't have $13,000 because I'm spending $3,500 every month on Airbnb, and another few thousand on Uber because I don't have a car, and that's the only way to get food or get somewhere. Poor kid's in jail. Like, I send him some commissary, some phone time, with whatever I have left, but lately there isn't much left. And I'm really just fighting every day. Every dollar I make is going into my daily survival of having a place to stay, having food to eat. Nice Airbnbs here. I don't mind living in them if they weren't so unaffordable and it was a logical way to live, but it's not. I mean, my apartment was $1,150 a month for a nice one-bedroom, walk-in closet, pool, everything. Now, $3,500 a month to stay in a less nice apartment, except for this one. This one's pretty nice, but the other ones that I was staying in were just basically hotel rooms with efficiencies, without a kitchen, without anything. $100 a day to $150 a day, depending on what day of the week and how busy of a week it is. And it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. They give you no fucking shot. Like, I have money. I have a salary. I'm offering a deposit and I can't get an apartment. What about all the people out there that have nothing, lost everything, really have nothing to put on the table? How the fuck do they get out of the hole that they're in? We give them no chance, no shot. And then we're going to give them shit for becoming drug addicts, alcoholics, thieves, whatever it is they got to do to survive. They got to eat. Everyone's got to eat. And we're not giving them any chance in this world. How do we expect them to redeem themselves? How do we expect them to get better? It's a hard knock life, and some of these people have a lot of feelings, a lot of emotions, and they can't handle life the way sober, so they turn to all this stuff, and they sell drugs, whatever they got to do to get by and to survive. And I don't blame them. I don't blame them. We need to come up with some kind of social, political, cultural replacement for that, some way of getting by. We should offer free treatment. We should offer them food, at least. Like, it's a human right. Food and shelter is a human right. We're leaving them out in the sun. There's more empty housing than there is homeless people in this country, but we can't do nothing about it. We can't build camps. It's Florida. It's beautiful. We can't just build camps with basic log cabins, 4 walls. Here you go, guys, have a place to stay. We're not going to judge you. Let's hope you recover. Maybe offer some kind of optional treatment for them if they're struggling with something, psychiatric treatment, addiction treatment, whatever it is they got to do to get better, to feel better about themselves, to get back on their feet, and to just give them shelter and food, man. Like, it's a human right. We make everything so much more expensive. We make credit ratings so important, and then we condemn them from wanting to fly out of their mind and not deal with this shit. Like, we should not be allowing human beings to die on the streets because they can't get insurance because they have cancer, AIDS, whatever it is, and treatment is there at the hospital waiting for them, but they cannot afford it. It really saddens me. It breaks my heart. We all make mistakes. We all make decisions that are not good. And in my religion and most religions, we are taught that everybody is not without sin, and I'm no exempt, and nobody is exempt from that, and we shouldn't judge each other. Yeah, people did make mistakes that led up to what they had, but a starving person is a starving person. A person without shelter is a person without shelter. We need to take care of these people. It's not a privilege. It should be a right, and it's not. And people are still going without insurance, without food, without anything. I have a lot of advantages, a lot of privileges, and I'm still shit out of luck. I can't complain too much because there's people a lot less lucky than me. How do I rise? How do I rise? Nobody will rent me an apartment, regardless of deposit. No one will give me car insurance, regardless of how much I pay. And it's hard. It's tough. I'm fighting stigma, prejudice, discrimination, as well as the average plight of a poor, poverty-stricken person. And no matter how much money I make, it's a downward spiral. $3,500 for Airbnb, $3,000 in Ubers. Like, most people don't even make that much a month. And some people make nothing, and how the fuck do they ever dig themselves out of a hole? It's just really saddening to me, and we need to do something about it. We really do. We cannot let this go on. We cannot. Not even the Democratic Party. I think I want to join the communists and just say everybody share and get the fuck over it and move on with your life and start creating things, start thinking of new things, take your mind out of who's better than who. Life should not be a competition. We should not be comparing ourselves to other human beings. Put all that down. It would be a beautiful world out there. I know communism doesn't work. It hasn't worked in the past or whatever, but it's good theory. We all just have equal stuff, and then we can look at other things to do with our days and compare ourselves with whatever it is. Poetry. I don't care what people do. Masturbate your day away. If that tickles your pickle, go for it. So, I have to be out of this Airbnb tomorrow. I have to be out of this Airbnb and then find a new place. And then I think 3 days later, this one's available again. I don't know. It's a day-by-day struggle of coming up with money to get a new Airbnb for at least $100 a day. It costs so much fucking money. When you lose everything, then how the fuck do you ever rise again? What the fuck is that bullshit?